This is Plötzensee prison in Berlin. This prison was built in the 19th century. Then it could house about 1,400 people. I think it was the largest prison in the German Empire. This prison is best of all known for being the execution site for Berlin, or the central area of Berlin, in fact, and it's to this prison to which were brought those found guilty by the People's Court, which was quite close to the Hitler's Chancellery, in fact, near the Tiergarten, and in particular those people who took part in resistance circles, the Kreisau Circle, of the Red Orchestra, Rote Kapelle, and of course the 20th of July 1944. Now, there were a number of people who were found guilty in a number of trials for the attempted coup against Hitler, and they were brought here. The first ones, in fact, straight from the court. So within about an hour and a half of being found guilty, that they were dead. They were brought from the court, loaded onto a truck, brought here and killed. Now, during the Second World War, a large part of this prison was destroyed. In fact, by it was an RAF raid in 1943 that destroyed the guillotine. Now, people were in Germany traditionally had their heads chopped off, and hanging was introduced by the Nazis in 1942 because it was seen as being more humiliating, a way of actually killing people. A guillotine was brought here in 1937 from Bruchsal, which is in the now in Baden-Württemberg, and that was installed in an like a shed. When I do a longer video on this, I'll put the photograph up of the shed. In fact, we can only see a little bit of it here because the shed itself ended up, I don't think shed's quite right word actually, maybe it was more of an outhouse. It was a brick outhouse, and that was destroyed then, but in any case, a beam had been made for hanging people on, which was largely used, and that's quite a horrific way of actually hanging people, by using piano wire. Now, today we can't see a great deal. In fact, even though this is closed now, this is just about everything you can see anyway, unless it's the rebuilt part of it since I was here last. They do commemorate, however, all of the nearly 3,000 victims who died here for supposed crimes against the National Socialist state. Now, the People's Court as such, the main judge, Freisler, who has gone down in history as a hanging judge, and he was never brought to justice himself because he died, he was killed during an air raid in January 1945, and it seems that he went back in the building. There's a couple of suggestions as to how he died, but it seems he went back into a building to collect some files. A bomb hit, and a cable, not a girder, I've forgotten the word now, a crossbeam came down on top of him and killed him. And apparently the wife of General Jodl was in the hospital when he was brought in, and he said she said something along the lines of people were glad that he was dead. And another account is that he died whilst awaiting assistance outside the People's Court after the bombing raid. Anyway, I'll do longer videos on Freisler. I've already done one on Lautz, who was the chief prosecutor, and he, even after the war, he got his pension. Anyway, you can see the video on that. I'll put a link to that one below, and I'll do more videos on some of the victims, as well as a bit more on the history of this prison in National Socialist times. So, thanks very much for watching. I hope you found that interesting, and if you did, then you might want to subscribe. I upload every Friday at 2000 hours Central European time. My specialist areas on National Socialist Germany, on the communist period as well, 20th century European history, and in particular in the Holocaust. So if you're interested in that, then you will want to subscribe. Thanks very much. Bye.